Hello, and welcome to a very special birthday episode of the Bite Size Nutrition Podcast. Today, we are going to do kind of a quick fire 38 lessons for 38 years. Yes, I am turning 38, which is absolutely wild to me. I feel like it's hard to say what age you feel because you've never been that age before, right? So I don't really know if I feel 38. I do remember my parents. I remember my parents' 40th birthday. I think it was my mom's or my dad's 40th birthday. And I remember, which I mean, 40 is, I'm getting close. And I remember I have these really strong memories of that birthday party and thinking, wow, like they're so adult. And I definitely don't feel that way, even though I have all the adult things. I have an apartment and I have a fiance and I have a dog, and I have a business. And I feel like those are very adult things. But I genuinely believe that part of being just like a human is play and fun and being goofy and weird and just like being yourself. And I am very proud that I've cultivated that, especially in the last like 5 or 6 years. I think when I was really strictly dieting and very, very involved in like diet and fitness, and my identity was like the fit girl, I think I lost some of that play and some of that joy and some of that fun. And things seemed a lot more like serious. I think a lot of it was because so much of my life revolved around control and controlling my body and controlling my workouts and controlling my image that I projected to others. And part of the really amazing process of now not being obsessed with my diet or macros or training or whatever it is I now have the space to play because play and creativity, connection, all of that is such a big part of my values and what makes me happy and what makes me me. So I'm not going to go on and on about that because I do want to talk a little bit more about shifting identity away from sort of like the fit person, because that's something that often comes up with coaching clients where it feels very, very challenging to be like, I I'm scared to let go of my identity as like the fit one or the healthy one or the disciplined one. So I want to talk about that more, but that's not what we're here to do today. Here today, we are going to talk about 38 lessons that I have learned. I can't tell you specifically if it was this year because who puts a date on when they learn things, but every time I hear these lists, I always take away a nugget or two of wisdom. So hopefully, I can share a nugget or two of wisdom with you in this podcast. So let's go ahead and jump in. And I'm just going to go one by one. I've got 38 of these. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be hard to get to 38. It was not. It was not that hard. So let's go. Number one, unfortunately, the experts were right. Journaling is really good for you. One of my goals for 2025 was to journal more, and I haven't done it every single day, but I have been fairly consistent. I think I'm probably averaging anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week journaling. And I don't ever journal for more than about 5 minutes, but it has been so helpful for me in expressing my emotions, understanding myself, hyping myself up, which brings me to number two, which is you need to hype yourself up more. And we often downplay our achievements or we'll say, oh, yeah, I did this thing, but part of becoming the confident person that I am now is because I hype myself up. I do not wait for other people to hype me up. I hype myself up. And I do that a lot of the time in my journaling where I will write like, I'm really excited about this. You got this. You did this thing really well. I'm so proud of you. And that feels really good. Please do that more. Number three, there will always be someone out there who is better at enter blank thing than you. And you do not need to be the best at something. You do not even need to be good at something to be worthy of doing that thing. So the next time you're like, oh, but I'm not good at it, who cares? Do it anyways. Being bad at things, I always say to clients, you have to be bad at something before you get good at it. That's like a necessity. Number four, there is nothing more valuable than a partner who genuinely gives a shit about understanding you. Chris, I am so lucky to have a partner like Chris because when I say something, even if it's something he doesn't agree with, he wants to understand why. And together we tend to be very like analytical about things, but it feels so special to have a partner who wants to understand how my mind works. And if your partner is not like that, I think I actually have a tip in here somewhere about that. And not, if not, it's going to be number 39. Number 5, you can still have a shitload of fun without substances, whether it's alcohol, whether it's weed, whether it's whatever thing, whatever substance, you can still have a shitload of fun, even if you are the only sober one. On January 1st, I went to a hard techno event. If you do not know what hard techno is, it is like dun 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 type techno. And I had so much fun. I don't even like hard techno. And I had so much fun. And I was the only one in a group of like 12 people that was completely sober. And I danced my ass off. So much of having fun without substances, whether it's alcohol or whatever, is about your mindset around that thing. Number 6, let people truly know you. I spent many years through my early 30s trying to be what I thought people wanted me to be or who I thought would be liked. And it turns out that trying to be what people or what you think people want from you just leads to you having a ton of people in your life that you don't really connect with. So let people truly know you. And if they don't like you, perfect. They can take themselves out of your life or you can just remove them. Like that's totally fine. Number 7, give more meaningful compliments. And when I say that, I'm also talking a little bit about like, don't compliment on people's bodies. Compliment on, for example, I was just in the UK. I saw a friend that I have known since I was 6 months old. And I told her just how special it felt to have time alone with her because usually when I see her, she's with her kids. And I told her how special I felt that she made time to be with me on her own. And the smile and like it was just like that, it's that kind of compliment. Like you are important to me. This is a specific thing. Like that is a meaningful compliment. Number 8, it is truly worth the money to hire a house cleaner. That's all I have to say about that. If you have the disposable income, hire a house cleaner. Number 9, stop telling yourself you shouldn't feel the way that you do. Oh, like it's not a big deal. I shouldn't be so worried about that. I should, like, you're gaslighting yourself and telling yourself I shouldn't feel the way I do actually makes it a lot harder to truly process and move through that emotion. So telling yourself I shouldn't feel this way, like you continue to feel that way, but now you feel guilty for it. Stop telling yourself you shouldn't feel the way you do. Number 10, the question, what will I value more in 5 years, is a really great way to help you make decisions. I just used this with a friend. She was debating, like, do I sign up for a High Rocks event? She was like, I'm not ready for it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do well. And I was like, look, 5 years from now, are you going to look back and be like, I'm so glad I skipped that event? Or are you going to look back and be like, I'm so glad I signed up? And she was like, I'm going to be glad I signed up. Perfect. That's such a helpful question to help you make choices. Number 11, looking good has a lot more to do with how you feel than how you look. So wear the shit that is comfy, do your makeup in a way that you like, and wear things and express your appearance in something that feels like you rather than what you think you should, right? Number 12, if you think about someone, text them. Everyone loves to get that I was just thinking about you message. Everyone, without a doubt. Number 13, if you want to make more friends, tell people you want to be their friend. I have made at least 3 new friends this year simply by being like, hey, I like you. Can we be friends? Let's go get a coffee. And then actually going and getting a coffee. And it's hard to make friends in your 30s. It's hard to make friends as an adult. It's even harder if you are like weird and not direct about it. Like we're old enough to be direct. And number 14 is, on that same note, date your friends. And I say this not in like a creepy way, but in like, you're important to me, so I am going to make time for you way. The other day, I went with a friend of mine. We went to the beach and we sat and we had a drink down at the beach, like went out of our way to spend time together at this beautiful place. And it was just magical. And that was like a date. And it was so much fun. Number 15, your partner is not your everything. They are also not your other half. You are a whole person on your own. And when your partner is your everything, you are putting way too much pressure on one person. You can love that person with your whole heart, but you also need other people in your support system. And a really great resource for this is Esther Perel. She is an incredible psychologist, talks a lot about relationships. I think she wrote Mating in Captivity. So yeah, she's great. Number 16, repeat your outfits. No one fucking cares. And the people who maybe will care that you repeat outfits are people that care too much about appearances and it doesn't matter anyways. Number 17, no one, and I repeat, no one of substance in your life gives a shit if you weigh a few pounds more or less. And I'm not talking about like, oh my gosh, you just gained 50 pounds. Like that might be indicative that there's something going on with your health, that something, maybe there's going on something on with your mental health. And there are ways to approach this and ways to not approach this. But gaining a couple pounds or losing a couple pounds, like people may notice, but their love for you will not change. And if their love for you does change, they are not someone of substance. Number 18, being nice, even when someone else isn't being nice, can often feel really good. And anger often begets anger. And I've seen this. My dad tends to be very reactive and gets very angry. And I cannot tell you in the past few years how many incredible benefits and customer service and even discounts I've gotten just by being really, really nice, even when someone else is not. Number 19, sometimes you just need a croissant. That's all. Number 20, your identity is not all consuming. You can be someone who loves coffee, but also doesn't drink coffee every day. You can also be someone who hates wasting food, but also doesn't finish everything on their plate all the time. You can be a runner and take time off of running. So you can be things and also not do them every single day or constantly all the time. Number 21, relationships change, and that is normal. Not everyone is meant to be in your life in the same way forever, and you will drain yourself trying to maintain the same kind of relationship when either you or the other person or both of you have evolved. Number 22, mindfulness is such an incredible antidote to overthinking. It's really hard to be going on in circles in your head when you are connected to the present moment. And I want to expand on this because specifically grounding is a really incredible mindfulness practice that can anchor you to the present moment. And grounding can be connecting to one specific sense. So for example, let's say I'm feeling anxious, but I bring my attention to the feeling of my butt on the chair that I'm sitting on, or the feeling of, my hand is touching my foot right now. So the feeling of my hand on my foot. It's really hard to continue to be like crazy overthinking if I am connected to my senses and connected to my body. Number 23, you are more emotional than you think you are. And that is perfectly fine. Emotions are not something to be scared of. Emotions are part of the human experience. It's what makes us human. And emotions are really valuable insight into what is important to you and how you view the world. Number 24, it's okay to change your mind about things. And for me, I changed my mind about motherhood a lot. I've changed my mind about a lot of things. And it's okay to do that. I think sometimes we cling so tightly to this is what I believe that we forget that part of growth is sometimes being like, oh, maybe I don't think that way anymore. Number 25, pizza might actually be the world's greatest and most complete food. If you think about it, it's got carbs, it's got protein, it's got fat. Sometimes it even has veggies, depending on what pizza you get. And pizza and I are having a moment this year, I have to say. Number 26, acceptance is not, I am okay with this continuing as it is. Acceptance is, I am not going to fight reality anymore. This is so important to recognize because sometimes we think if we accept something, we are condoning it. And when we accept something, it's just, this is the reality that is right now. And when we accept that, we get to let go of the struggle of fighting against reality. And this applies like even to our bodies, right? Like, oh, I can't accept my body. Well, your body is what it is in this specific moment. So the reality is your body is what it is today. So are you going to fight against that? You can say, hey, I want to make choices that change that reality for the future. but fighting against what it is today is not helpful. Number 27, whatever you do, do not book the 6 a.m. flight unless it is your only option. I am more than willing to pay extra for a flight that is not 6 a.m. Number 28, your parents probably aren't going to change at this point in their lives, but your relationship with your parents can get a lot better when you accept that this is just who they are. This was game changing, like life changing for me, because I used to create these expectations of, hey, my dad's going to come and visit and things are going to be different. And most of the time they weren't. And I realized that when I realized, like, hey, I'm going to see my dad and things might be the same, is when they actually got better because I let go of expectations. Number 29, no one can read your fucking mind. No matter how well they know you, how long they've known you, who they are, no one can read your mind. And if you have not read anything by Brené Brown, please do. But Brené Brown has a saying that she says, clear is kind. So if you want someone to understand you, if you want someone to get what you are thinking or understand your perspective, tell them. We need to stop assuming that just because people know us well, they can read our minds. Number 30, stop listening to people just to respond to them or to give your opinion, especially if you really want a deeper connection with those people. Truly listen to them and seek to understand their perspective. Nothing feels better than being like, ooh, this person is trying to understand me. Number 31, Korean skincare is the superior skincare. I had no idea that Korean skincare was such a big thing. One of my best friends is a skincare junkie. She knows so much about skincare. And who would have thought that snail mucus would make my skin so fucking soft? But I am a Korean skincare convert. And wow, really good. And I'm happy to share my recommendations. I don't know much, but I'm happy to share what works for me. Number 32, I think that every adult should take an improv class at some point. And I know that probably sounds really scary. A lot of people I talk to say that doing improv sounds terrifying, but improv is one of the best things I've done for my confidence, in part because it's scary, in part because you're there and there are moments where you're like, I'm with this group of adults and we are all acting like total crazy people, and it's okay. And this is a safe space and there's no right answer. And you realize that so much of what we project on, like, ooh, people are judging me, is like, but everybody is like, we're all in the same boat, right? Number 33, wow, we're getting close. Number 33, expectations are what keep us miserable. And letting go of expectations starts with recognizing you're creating them in the first place. So when we go into a scenario, or when we talk to someone, we expect a certain response, we expect a certain outcome, we are pretty much always disappointed. Our brains are prediction machines. So our brains want to predict. But one of the ways that we can really help ourselves is by recognizing, ooh, I'm creating an expectation. And I can choose to acknowledge that expectation and recognize that there are many outcomes in this scenario. Number 34, if you've gotten this far being super harsh and super critical on yourself, imagine how far you could go if you were supportive and encouraging. And number 35 is kind of in the same vein. Accountability is compassionate. So holding yourself to what you said you do is an act of self-compassion, unless what you said you do was unrealistic, damaging to your health or your psyche, or impossible. So when we hold ourselves to completely unrealistic standards, not compassionate. When we hold ourselves accountable to what is truly possible for us, that is compassionate. Number 36, vulnerability is scary as fuck, and it takes a lot of practice. But if you don't practice, you'll never feel comfortable. And so often when I talk to clients about this, I encourage that they start with someone that feels safe, and starting with vulnerability that is like small, like not sharing your deepest, darkest secrets, but sharing something that feels like slightly uncomfortable, and starting with someone that feels safe. And then you build up from there. Number 37, food always tastes better when someone else makes it for you. That is science. It just is, unless they're a bad cook. Number 38, this is one that I can honestly tell you has helped me and Chris create a really strong relationship where, like, yeah, of course we don't agree on anything because we're two different people and that's normal. But we try to do a monthly-ish relationship check-in. If you're in a relationship, and you can even do this with friends, you can do this with kids, a relationship check-in where it is a specific space in which that is the space where we talk about what's working, what's not working, what we want to do differently. And we always start with asking, like, what do you feel like I'm doing well? What have you enjoyed that I've done lately? And so starting out with like the good stuff, like, hey, what's really working for us right now? And then opening it up to talking about, how do you feel about division of labor in our household? How do you feel about our communication lately? Is there anything on your mind that you've been wanting to talk to me about? And I think this is such a powerful way to create that space where sometimes we're like, I don't know when the right time to talk about things are, but setting aside time for a relationship check in is a really powerful way to actually create the capacity to open up about how you feel, about your needs, about what you love. It's a great way to also just be like, hey, I'm going to tell you everything that I love about you and all the amazing things. And it has just strengthened our relationship. So, wow. I honestly, like I said, I thought it was going to be hard for me to come up with 38, but I feel like I could keep going. I I loved coming up with this list because life teaches us so many valuable lessons, even in really hard moments. And people say, like, oh, with age comes wisdom. I don't think that's necessarily true. With age comes experience, but we actually have to turn that into wisdom or not. Because sometimes we can keep repeating the same things over and over and not actually learn anything from it. And so we can gain experience, but we don't actually learn. And I think that one of the reasons why this list was so powerful is like, ooh, I have learned a lot. Even though some of them, like obviously, sometimes you need a croissant. Like that sounds silly, but also like sometimes you do kind of need a croissant. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed listening to this. And if you have anything to add, if you have any life advice or any lessons that you'd like to share, it would be really cool if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can comment directly below the episode and other people can see your life advice, which I think is so cool. Or if you want to share it, you can just DM me on Instagram and share a life lesson. I know there are so many incredible individuals that listen to this podcast, and I would love to learn from you as well. So if you want to share, that would be great. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and share it with someone that you thought might enjoy it as well. Make sure you are following the podcast either on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen. And I hope that you just have a wonderful day doing whatever you're doing. And hopefully, one of these or more stood out to you as something that you would like to take into your own life.